Hi guys, so before we begin with today's video, I want to mention something really quick. Last Sunday we did a live stream and we had so much fun, so we're doing it again next Sunday. This time we're also going to have dinner together, so bring your food and bring your drinks because we have a lot of fun interactive activities planned. So if you're interested, I recommend you to click the link in my comments underneath this video so you can set a reminder for the next stream. Bye!
Hi, welcome to Jovie's home. I post new videos every Tuesday and sometimes Thursday. Today, I am sharing with you 8 ways that you can support your community, your neighborhood, people around you in this crazy time. So if that sounds good to you, then why don't you come on in virtually, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. So before we get into today's video, let's talk about the Dutch word of the day. And this is a word that I would have to say is kind of something that I really remind myself all the time when I'm starting to feel down about the situation or things that are going on. And that word is solidarity. And in Dutch, solidarity means, let's say it. In Dutch, it's solidariteit. Yeah? And to me, solidarity means like, it gives me comfort. I know that this is weird. Maybe it's a little bit like misery loves company, but it does give me some comfort to know that we are all in this together. This is really bringing out, I think, the best and the worst in people, but it gives me comfort to know that we're all in this together. This is a shared experience that we are all having all across the globe right now. And that solidarity and that seeing people really get together, pull together, communities pull together is amazing. So solidariteit. Okay, let's get to my 9 tips. The first one, and I have to say, this is inspired by my neighbor Tirosh, who literally she did this and inspired this whole entire video. So Tirosh, if you're watching, thank you. You are an inspiration in more ways than one. But in this case, certainly for this video. And she did something that I think is so easy to do for each other. And what she did is a couple days ago, Tirosh sent me a text and to a few other neighbors in our neighborhood and said, hey, you guys, I have a grocery delivery scheduled from Albert Heijn. They're coming on Saturday. Do you need anything? Knowing how impossible it is right now to get groceries delivered, the long waiting times, that it's very difficult. And so just by sending that message to some of the people in the neighborhood was incredible. And I thought, yes, of course, she really saved me. There were several things that I needed. I didn't really want to leave. Things are challenging. So a small gesture like that is really incredible. And I think that's an easy way to support your community. I do want to mention, if you have an upcoming grocery delivery and you're able to add, items, think about the elderly people around you, especially, and if you know that there is somebody who has a compromised immune system, somebody who really needs it and might not be able to get the grocery delivery, then you might want to offer it to them first. Like, not that you give them your place, but that they can just like add their groceries to your list and then, you tiki each other or whatever. It's easy, no problems. So that is number 1, and I think that's an incredible tip. The next thing that I want to share with you, so maybe you've heard or seen on the news or on social media that there is an extreme shortage of masks, protective clothing for our medical personnel. Yeah, I do live near some doctors and they sent a WhatsApp group asking for, please, if you have any masks, if you have protective clothing, maybe you're a painter or maybe you're a veterinarian or maybe you have some kind of hobby that you do wear protective clothing or masks, especially, just a second, let me refer, especially if you have FFP2 type masks. Consider donating them, because as much as it might give you comfort to have a mask or to, have it at home, certainly the people who are seeing sick patients who are really on the front lines, they need it more than you might. Again, not if you are like immunocompromised or if you're at a high risk group, but if you are, young, healthy, and, you have a bunch of this stuff saved up really consider donating it. I do want to tell you, one of my YouTube friends, I've mentioned her lots of times on this channel. Her name is Carolyn, Contemporary Mama. She is an ICU nurse in the United States, and she and I have been in contact, and we've been talking about, you know, what's going on over there, how is it over there, and she told me that she is right at the front line. So she is in the intensive care unit. That is her regular job. And that they're now at the point where they're wearing one mask per shift, not switching between patients, or, you know, they cannot, like, once you have that mask on, you're not really allowed to touch it. So you can't take a sip of water. You can't eat. Like, you can't remove it and put it back on. Once it's on, it has to stay on. So you can imagine them doing 12-hour shifts, not being able to drink water, not being able to eat, and yet they are still there. So really think about that, and how much a donation of your mask would help somebody. So next up. The next one is super easy, okay? The next one, it is to just stay at home. Just stay at home. Yes, I know it's hard. Look at that sunshine. The spring has finally decided to come to the Netherlands. But keep your butts at home, okay? Please stay at home. That is a great way to protect your community. That is a great way to help in this crazy time. Just stay at home. Go into your garden, but don't be running around congregating. Like, I saw pictures of people like in Scheveningen, people out in the forests and parks and completely ignoring the 1.5 meter rule and just spreading, okay? Just because you might not have it right now or you don't have symptoms doesn't mean that you're not a carrier, and it doesn't mean that you're not spreading it to somebody else. So just stay at home. Honestly, just stay home. So number 4, my number 4 tip on ways that you can support your community is that if you have little kids at home, or kids in general, I mean, if you have kids at home and they're driving you nuts and you need something to do, you can ask them to draw some pictures that you can then mail to either elderly care homes, or if you have elderly neighbors that, you know in your neighborhood, you can put some pictures with maybe like, I don't know, like a positive message or something on them in the mailbox of your neighbor or something like that. So we did this actually. My son drew some pictures and we took one to Daan's grandma. Definitely did not talk to her. We just stuck it through her post box and talked to her like through the door. But, you know, I'm sure that people who are older, and especially if, you know, they're alone or, you know, living alone, it is a very scary and very isolating time. And so like this, if your kid draws a picture, they're occupied for a little while, you get a little break, and you get somebody, like, you beautify somebody's day just by doing that. So I really encourage you to think about something like that, you know, small ways that you can really just make somebody's day better. And then that will make you feel better too. Next up, if you if you need to leave home and you need to go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy, or, you know, you need to do one of those like urgent errands, I really strongly encourage you also to just take a minute and say thank you to the people who are working those jobs too. I know that we are incredibly grateful and we celebrate our medical professionals who are helping health-wise, but there are also so many people who have essential jobs to keep our society from collapsing. So as I said, supermarket workers, pharmacy employees, you know, like your delivery drivers, give them a tip if you can, you know. I mean, they are really keeping this country going. Yes. But just take a minute and just say, hey, I want to say really, really thank you for what you're doing. It means so much to me. So, I mean, yeah, another thing that I'm thinking is like the garbage collectors, you know, that are still coming and collecting our trash. Like, imagine what the world would look like if for a month nobody came to collect any garbage. Like, it would be so different. So just if you see somebody, keep your distance, but do say just thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing. The next tip I would like to suggest is to have an even higher level of compassion and understanding than ever. Now, this is difficult, and this is something that I am just like reminding myself and trying to be really mindful of, that even, for example, in our house, when you're cooped up and you are all just kind of trapped together, people are stressed, people are worried, and people can have maybe different reactions than you're used to. Your neighbor might not be as friendly, or, you know, things can just be different than what you're used to. And so what I want to encourage you to do is, instead of meeting negativity with more negativity, is to just like meet it with kindness and passion and compassion. And just know that if somebody says something rude to you, or is like a jerk to you, maybe online, or something happens, just remind yourself that they're also going through this like very scary situation, and it might be harder for them than it is for you, or you might not understand the circumstances of why it is so difficult for them, or, you know, how they're handling it. So I want to just encourage everyone to just be extra kind, like be extra nice, just say a nice word, or, you know, leave a nice comment or something, because as I said, it will make you feel good. You're putting out positivity and good things in the world, and then that kind of snowballs, you know? So instead of snowballing into negativity and like ugliness, let's do that into positivity and love. Number 7 is also pretty simple and easy, and if you are able to, donate to a charity that is helping with the relief efforts, maybe a charity that is delivering food or meals to elderly people, or, you know, whatever, medical support charities, or whatever it is in your community. However you can, think about donating, and do donate in that way. Number 8. The number 8 tip reminds me, it takes me back to my old house when I used to be neighbors with Dan's grandma. So some of you might not know that. That's how Dan and I know each other. In my old house, Dan's grandma was my next door neighbor. And so she's the one who introduced us and brought us into her family. So that's how I know Dan. It's not a story about her, but another neighbor, when we lived there in that neighborhood, he was a pianist. So he could play the piano really beautifully. And sometimes in the summer, he would open up the doors of the back doors of his house, and he would just play the piano, and this beautiful music would enter the neighborhood, and we could hear it, and it was just very lovely. So maybe if you have some kind of musical abilities, or you're able to do something like that, then you might consider doing that. Just if it's a nice day, open up your windows and share your talent with your neighbors. I'm sure that, you know, everyone would enjoy hearing something like that, a little break. It's just like a little beautiful moment in someone's day. So that's certainly a nice way that you could do it. And the last tip that I want to offer you guys is to support your local freelancers. Now, all over Facebook, I have seen so many musicians, like language teachers, cooking instructors, things like this, taking huge hits to their business since they are not able to actually do their job in this situation. So now is the time, if you are bored at home, now is the time, take a class, see if you can support somebody in your local community by asking for, I don't know, whatever. If you're an English speaker, ask for Dutch lessons, or maybe ask for a music lesson virtually like this over video. You can definitely make a huge difference in someone's life by supporting them. So you guys, those were my 9 tips on ways that you can support your local community while in this crazy situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this video provides a little bit of light into your day, a little bit of sunshine, and I hope that you guys are all doing fine. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate any time that you spent with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!